Here are tips to understand how to factor difference of squares. It is extremely tricky, but with the help of these four examples, I'll give you few tips which will help you factor difference of squares, and followed by this is set of videos for you to practice. Now the first one here is x square minus y square, which seems to be very straightforward. It could be written as x plus y times x minus y. So we can always write this as product of their sum and their difference, right? Now some of you may like to write it as x minus y times x plus, I could have written that also, y plus x, or it could be written as x minus y times x plus y. Well, since multiplication is commutative, all these are correct answers, right? But I'll tell you that you should avoid writing y plus x, because at times there could be situations when you may write y minus x here, right? That will make a mistake, right? So don't do that. So maintain the order, that is my suggestion, but you could always write first the difference and then the product, or product and the difference. Either way, it is correct. So that is straightforward. Now in this case, we knew the squares, x square minus y square, and so we knew it is square of x and square of y. Where at times, you may get a question like this, which is 49x square minus 256. And you really don't understand, like, what is 49? You have an idea that it is square of some number. So don't hesitate, take out your calculator and do square root of 49. So when you do square root, what I'm trying to say here is, think like this. You have 49x square minus 256. Now you don't know what squares they are. Then just do square root of these numbers. Only the numbers, right? So when you do square root of 49 using calculator, you will get square root of 49 as 7. And square root of 256, when you use calculator, you find that is 16. And therefore, you can rewrite your expression. Write it as 7x whole square minus 16 square. Now it is familiar difference of squares, and now you can write down your answer as 7x plus 16 times 7x minus 16, right? So you get them factored. Use your calculator. That's my emphasis on. Whenever you see numbers for which you don't remember the squares, use calculator, find square root, and then write it as difference of squares, and then continue. Now here 7x is your first term and 16 is your second, right? So their product, sum and difference, will give you factorization of the binomial 49x square minus 256. Now here we have a simple combination. So in this case, which is similar to what we have, if you know what are the perfect squares, you can straight away write down your answer. You know this is 4. So remember, either you should write this first as 4x whole square minus 3 square and then your answer. Sometimes I've seen students making a mistake. They will write just 16x plus 3 or something like that, right? So this step is kind of critical and important. So once you write this as difference of squares, then you write down your answer. And now you know how to factor it. It is 4x plus 3 times 4x minus 3. Well, if you would like to write it as 4x minus 3 times 4x plus 3, that is also correct. Now, the fourth example here is to tell you that what is factoring? Factoring is completed at a stage when you can no more factor. That is kind of important to understand. Now, I can write x to the power of 4 as x square square, right? Minus 1, which is also 1 square. It is not a good practice to write 1 square, but to make things clear, I have written 1 square for you. This now can be factored as difference of squares. So I can write this as x square plus 1 times x square minus 1. As you see here, x square minus 1 is also difference of square, and so it can be further factored. So let us factor that also. Until and unless you factor it completely, it is not said to be factored. So we can factor this as x plus 1 times x minus 1. So basically you get 3 factors for this binomial, and at this stage it is said to be completely factored. Now x squared plus 1 can never be factored, right? But x squared minus 1 is only the difference of squares which can be factored and not sum of squares. Remember that part also. So what we learned here is whenever we have difference of squares, then it can be factored as product of sum and their difference, right? Now if you have an idea that's difference of squares but you really don't know of which numbers, use calculator. Third, order does not matter. You could write this as x plus y times x minus y or x minus y times x plus y. Remember, product is commutative, so you can always interchange their position. Lastly, factoring is indeed complete when you factor till the last bit. Now this term x squared minus 1 could be factored, so it's a good practice to factor it. Otherwise, this will be considered as incomplete factoring. Now with this, move on to the set of videos. I have about 10, so that you can practice different kinds of difference of squares. And I hope you love the examples which we are considering and you enjoy the journey while learning how to factor difference of squares. All the best. Thank you.